Hi, this is my issue 17. Is the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act obsolete? So is it out of date? Is it not being used? What's going on with the FCPA? And I said yes, because the vagueness from these laws, it causes uncertainty within the other companies and firms about what is or what is not considered a violation. It makes it hard for them to determine those boundaries and those lines. I believe a direct quote from the book is, "The ambiguity in the statute creates perpetual uncertainty about what constitutes an FCPA violation." So again, it just makes it hard for companies to know what is and what is not violating FCPA laws. Also, FCPA regulators lack the appropriate resources and the expertise that's needed to gain their specific knowledge about how risk is created in different companies. They kind of have a one-size-fits-all program instead of having specific criteria to meet or specific red flags for different companies that operate in different ways. There's the one-size-fits-all program that they go in and check off boxes and either it is or it isn't. And I don't think that's right, because some companies do operate differently, so they have different ways of acting in misconduct or bribery. Also, some American firms are resorting to bribery as well in fear of losing their place in the market to foreign competitors. FCPA laws, though they have been adopted in other countries, are not always being enforced in those other countries. So while we're enforcing them here, these countries that are not enforcing them, they're still buying their way into markets. Therefore, the American companies feel that they must do the same. They feel that they have to buy their way in fear of losing that spot to these other foreign competitors. So without having all nations enforcing that together, it's actually making it weaker here in the United States as well. Now, we said no because I do believe that the FCPA is a powerful means to regulate overseas business. American companies are working overseas and transnationally, and the way that they conduct themselves in their business represents our country as a whole. So FCPA is there to monitor that and to make sure that they're conducting themselves in a way that represents America properly. The FCPA was introduced after Watergate and all of the CIA misconduct. So when it was first implemented, the importance of FCPA was really fresh on everyone's mind. And I think since then people have forgotten why FCPA is so important, what they're doing for our country and for our businesses and for the world in that matter. But after seeing Watergate and how things went down with that, I think that the importance of bribery and misconduct and regulating that, I think, was really prominent in the people who were supporting it. Now, by people are wanting to change and make revisions to these laws, but by doing so, I think that decreases the opportunity to convict these companies of their crimes. By being more specific in the laws and by shortening the time, the statute, the 5-year statute, or however long they're wanting to make it, that reduces the chances of us convicting for these crimes, which takes away the whole purpose, I think. I mean, that's why we're here, to regulate those things. So if these laws become too lax, then the government looks soft. It looks like bribery is not a big deal. We're just taking it. So like the 5-year statute, now that limits anybody who was involved in these acts of bribery or misconduct, that kind of counts them out if they're out of that period. So someone could have been the whole brains of the operation 10 years ago, and the people within the last 5 years of it are the ones that are going to get convicted for it. So I think it makes a big difference, the statute that's on that and how many years you're allowed. I think that the revisions should be considered more in how it affects the laws as a whole, the entire act. I think FCPA had it right the first time, and that it's being effective. So I believe that it is an important anti-corruption tool for all international companies, big or small. I think there's a lot of competition internationally, and I think it should be fair. I don't think that there should be bribery to get a spot, or bribery to shoot a movie in China, or whatever the case may be. I think it should be done fair, and I think that the FCPA is here to enforce that, and I think that they are doing a good job in that. And that is my issue 17.